Hello, I'm Matt Guff from House.com, and this is a 2019 Rome Artifact Wide Snowboard, a great park deck for anyone with size 11 feet and larger. It's a board that you see a lot in the parks. It's a freestyle board. It's for beginner to advanced level riders. Anyone can ride this thing, from anyone who's just kind of learning how to carve and go into the park, and those guys that already know what they're doing and thrash hard in the parks and of course in the streets. The Artifact is one of those boards within the Rome line that's kind of its own brand within Rome. Everyone knows what it is. There's been some subtle changes to it for 2019 that I'm excited about. It has a really great graphic, as it always does, and of course it's still going to perform to the highest ability because everything that Rome has put into this thing. It's a simple board, but there's actually lots of little pieces of tech that make it ride really well. It's a true twin. That means that the nose and the tail shape are the exact same. You can ride it this way, and it's going to feel the exact same. It features a centered stance, and with that centered stance is a centered side cut radius too. So again, if you're riding switch, it's going to feel the same as when you ride it regular, which is kind of nice, you know? But for the most part, again, you're going to see this board in the parks mostly. If you take it kind of like backcountry or just riding groomers at high speeds, it may feel a little bit unstable because of, you know, the fiberglass, the core profile, and the profile shape. The profile shape of the board, Rome calls contact rocker. So underneath and between the feet, the board is flat, and then outside of the insert packs to those contact points, it's actually raised up 2 millimeters. So it's not really too high of a rise. And that's one kind of fun thing about the Artifact, is that you can still take it on groomers and do casual cruising laps, and it's still gonna bite down and help to grip when you're on an edge. Sometimes boards have a little bit too much of a rise where the only contact is like just generally in between this area. That's not really the case with the Artifact. You can have a really nice effective edge when you create tilt to carve around. The feel and flex rating of the Artifact wide is actually gonna be about a 4, so a little bit softer than your average style deck. You know, most bigger boards or wider boards tend to be just a little bit stiffer than what you normally find. This one actually is just about a 4, so it's really easy to torsionally flex. So when you're just kind of cruising around, or even you know, hitting some rails, it's easy to like lift up that edge so you don't catch when you're cruising. And of course, it's going to feature a 2-year warranty, which is awesome. Rome's done an awesome job at making some of the best boards around. The wood core of this is tip to tail and rail to rail with higher density woods that kind of run in between the feet. Just give the board a little extra strength. A lot of people who ride this are jibbers, and sometimes when boards happen to break, they do so kind of like outside of the inserts. So what Rome has done is add those higher density woods. They also have glass impact plates in the heel and toe areas underneath each binding to kind of resist some of those points of breaking. There's a stomp style core with a skate core profiling too. So the wood core is basically the same thickness throughout, except for in between the feet. In between the feet, the board is actually just a little bit thinner, so it's easier to press. So this little section is going to be just a little bit softer than basically everywhere else. Now, with all of that kind of fun stuff, there's Bi-X fiberglass, both at 0 and at 90 degrees. It's soft, it's pliable, it's not very rigid at all. So when you take this like on a groomed trail and you're going really fast, it will feel kind of washy and unstable, kind of surfy. So that's why I say if you're doing casual cruising, you'll be fine. If you're in the park jibbing and jumping, you're gonna have a good time. And then of course there's these 3D HiBeams. Now these beams are new to the Artifact for 2019. They're kind of like a 3D shape style, kind of like, it's not a rod, it's not a cylindrical rod, it just kind of has a kind of tube, not a tube shape, but like a square shape, but it's long, like a rectangle. And what that does is actually, it has a shape that is reverse of the rocker on the nose. It actually has a kind of like a camber style shape, but that's only on top, and it only runs right there. It sits on top of the wood core, not milled out into the core like you'd find in the hot rods or the turbo rods that Rome has. What that does, gives the board a little bit extra pop without making it torsionally stiff on that nose and the tail. The base will be fast. It's an extruded base. and it's going to hold up to any kind of ding that you may get. There's no die cuts because they don't want those things to pop out when you're riding rails. And then there's that 360 wrap standard steel edge that has that radio style side cut. So there's a lot of really kind of cool little things to the Artifact that make it what it is. It's a softer than average board, about a flex rating of a 4 for anyone with size 11 feet. You know, if you've got big feet and you're in the park, the last thing you want is to catch your toes and your heels on the snow when you're just riding. And the Artifact actually comes in, the Artifact Wide comes in 2 sizes. The 152, that's what this one is, and then the 155 as well. This is a dope board. This is the 2019 Rome Artifact Wide. Board you can check out at thehouse.com by selecting the link below in the description. Leave a comment or question, let me know what you think of this thing. Subscribe to the channel over there, check out more vids there, and hopefully I'll see you on snow.